For most of modern history, the United States has been more than a country, like it's been a dream. People from every corner of the planet wanted to see it for themselves, to walk the streets of New York, gaze at the Grand Canyon, or experience the energy of Los Angeles. Visiting America wasn't just a vacation, it was a symbol of achievement. The land of opportunity. The cultural capital of the world. But that dream is fading. In 2025, something remarkable is happening. Global tourism is booming again. Europe is packed. Asia is thriving. Latin America is rising. But America's visitor numbers tell a different story. Crowds are thinner. Hotel rooms stay empty longer. Major attractions are seeing fewer foreign guests than before the pandemic. The question many are now asking is, has the United States priced itself out of the global tourism market? And if so, how did the world's most visited dream destination quietly lose its shine? Let's uncover 10 major reasons why international visitors are turning away, and how a mix of cost, policy, and perception is reshaping the very idea of traveling to America. 1. The soaring cost of visiting America. For travelers, the story often begins and ends with the cost. In 2025, the price of visiting the US has never been higher. Flights from Asia or Europe are up by as much as 60% since 2019. Hotel rates in major cities have skyrocketed. In New York, a mid-range room averages over $320 per night. Even smaller cities like Austin or Denver are crossing $200. A meal that once cost $12 now costs $25. Parking tips and taxes pile on top. Add travel insurance, car rentals, and domestic flights, and a 2-week trip easily reaches 5 figures. Families compare that to the same amount covering a full month in Europe or a luxury stay in Thailand. And when the numbers don't add up, the dream trip to America quietly slips off their list. It's not just inflation, it's perception. America is now seen not as worth it, but as too much. The visa struggle. Even before travelers book a ticket, they face one of the biggest hurdles, the U.S. visa system. For millions, getting a U.S. visa is a slow, costly, and frustrating process. Applicants from India, Nigeria, or Brazil often wait nearly a year just for an interview. The fees are high, the paperwork complex, and the risk of rejection always present. Many travelers spend hundreds of dollars, only to receive a denial letter, sometimes with no clear reason. In contrast, destinations like Japan, the UAE, and most of Europe have embraced digital visas or visa-free entry. These systems make travel easy, flexible, and friendly. When other nations roll out the red carpet and America builds a wall of bureaucracy, travelers don't argue. They simply go elsewhere. 3. Safety and the fear factor. Ask travelers abroad why they hesitate to visit the US, and one answer often repeats: it doesn't feel safe. In recent years, news about mass shootings, urban crime, and homelessness has spread far beyond American borders. Videos of tourists being robbed in San Francisco or chaotic scenes in Los Angeles go viral in seconds. The reality is complex. Many U.S. destinations remain safe, but the perception has shifted dramatically. And perception matters. For families from Europe or Asia, safety is non-negotiable. They're now choosing destinations where they feel secure, places like Japan, Canada, or the Scandinavian countries. America, once the land of freedom and excitement, now feels unpredictable. That fear, whether justified or not, carries a heavy price. 4. The strong dollar problem. Ironically, one of America's strengths has become one of its biggest tourism challenges, the US dollar. A strong dollar means a strong economy, but it also means everything costs more for foreign visitors. For Canadians, Europeans, or Latin Americans, exchange rates make even small purchases feel inflated. A $5 coffee can feel like $8. A $50 meal can feel like $90. And it's not just perception. For many travelers, that difference means fewer days, fewer attractions, or skipping the US entirely in favor of a destination where their money stretches further. While the US celebrates economic strength, its tourism sector quietly suffers from the global imbalance it creates. 5. Pandemic hangover policies. COVID-19 reshaped global travel, but some countries adapted faster than others. While nations like Japan, Mexico, and the European Union simplified their travel rules quickly, the United States moved slowly. Vaccine requirements, testing confusion, and inconsistent border policies left a lasting impression on travelers. Even now, the perception of America as a complicated destination lingers. Tourists value clarity and simplicity, and many have found that elsewhere. By the time the US reopened fully, travelers had already made new habits. They discovered other countries that welcomed them warmly, and they stayed loyal. 6. Decline of the urban experience. The magic of American cities once defined global travel. New York, Los Angeles, San Francisco, names that inspired adventure. But in recent years, those same cities have faced visible struggles. Homelessness, rising crime, and empty storefronts are common sights in areas that once felt electric. Visitors paying thousands of dollars expect to see glamour, not grit. But walking through downtown San Francisco or parts of Los Angeles today often tells a different story, one of inequality and decline. That disconnect between expectation and reality is powerful. Tourists who expected the American dream sometimes leave feeling disillusioned, and word spreads faster than ever. 7. The global competition is winning. The United States no longer competes with just Europe or Canada. It competes with everywhere. Thailand offers luxury for less. Japan blends safety, tech, and culture seamlessly. These countries understand what modern tourists want: affordability, authenticity, and simplicity. Meanwhile, the US continues to rely on decades-old branding, Times Square, Hollywood, the Grand Canyon, while ignoring modern travel trends like sustainability, digital convenience, and local immersion. The competition is evolving. America isn't. 8. Infrastructure and accessibility. For a country as vast and powerful as the United States, traveling within it can be surprisingly difficult. Public transport remains limited outside of a few major cities. Train networks are outdated. Cross-country travel depends heavily on expensive domestic flights. In the US, tourists often need to rent cars, adding hundreds in insurance, gas, and parking costs. Even airports, though enormous, frequently rank lower in passenger experience compared to Asia or the Middle East. For many travelers, the logistics simply don't feel worth the effort anymore. 9. A shifting global image. America's story has always been one of inspiration. But today that story feels different. Global perceptions of the US have shifted, politically, socially, and culturally. Issues like division, inequality, and social unrest are widely reported abroad. It's not about politics, it's about image. The American dream once symbolized freedom and possibility. Now, for some, it's become a story of chaos and contrast. When a nation's soft power, its culture, ideals, and values weakens, tourism follows. Because people don't just visit a place, they visit an idea. And that idea is now in question. So, is America truly pricing out foreign visitors? Yes, but not only in money. It's pricing them out through complexity, safety fears, image decline, and a failure to evolve. Every factor adds a small layer of distance between the US and the rest of the world. Tourism isn't just about economics, it's about storytelling. Every visitor who walks through an American city becomes a storyteller of what they saw, felt, and believed. If those stories stop being told, the world forgets a little of what America once represented: freedom, creativity, and wonder. The good news? It can still come back.